Hey everyone, the name is Erik Thor, and allow me to in this video address the question of ISTJs and how they are portrayed in the Myers-Briggs personality type community. No, I don't think ISTJs are zombies, and I don't see them as automatons or anything of the like. There is no automaton type, there is no zombie type. A zombie is an archetype that we can all slip into. It represents our autopilot. Everyone has an autopilot. Everyone has a zombie mode. But the question is, how much do you rely on this zombie mode? How much do you let it influence your life and your decisions? And how often have you found yourself falling into this archetype in your life? What I've come to notice is that people rely on the zombie state or the automaton state in order to avoid to deal with emotions and difficulties in life. In times of difficulty, we can turn into this automaton who acts like us and talks like us and behaves like us, but in many ways has no energy, has no motivation, and has no feelings and has no sense of drive. It's like talking to me, but every word, hearing every word I say come out just being an echo of what it used to be, not with the same interest, not with the same enthusiasm, and not with the same vigor that I tend to usually have. When you are around a person that is in the zombie mode, what you will notice first and foremost is how cold they appear. How they appear to completely lack any form of warmth, and how they appear to lack any form of energy. They seem so downscale, like a robot. They only give you the minimum necessary energy. The automaton is someone who requires active maintenance. They require instructions from the environment. They require punishments and rewards from the boss or from the people around them. They need people to push them into a certain direction because they don't have the energy to do it on their own. They lack the manpower, the energy, the spirit to make own decisions in life, only doing what everyone else does, only going along with the crowd, or even not even doing that. The thing is, we have an inner sense of energy. We all have an inner sense of energy that we can pull from. But we also have an outer energy. And that represents the will of other people, the will of the workplace, the will of the system we live in, the energy of our environment and of the environmental cues around us. And the question here is, where do you draw your energy from? Where does your energy come from? The fact is, I've noticed that the people who aren't acting on inner energy, who aren't going into themselves to find this energy, who aren't like going to take energy from themselves, are forced to kind of find it in their environment. They're forced to look for it in other people. And that's usually what tends to drive people out of the zombie state. Eventually, they kind of suck and absorb the energy of other people until that energy kind of becomes their own. And what I noticed that is so dangerous is that some people become addicted to the energy of others but forget about their own energy and forget how to access their own energy. Often because they are avoiding it, because there is some kind of anxiety, some kind of trauma in their life that is kind of blocking them from pulling it out. And that comes from often giving up on your ambitions or your visions. If there's something in your life that you find to be inherently fascinating, if there's something in your life that you pull energy from, like an interest, a hobby, something that you find fun, endlessly fun, when you don't have that, or when you're avoiding that hobby, or when you're not letting yourself get into that, that's when your energy dissipates. You need to pursue your interests. You need to pursue what you find inherently stimulating. And what I notice is, because people are keep expecting me to tell you, what type is this? Who does this? How does this relate to personality type? And how it relates is, it's not something that's specific to any personality type, but it's something that all personality types deal with. And in particular, your interest, your energy comes from, if you're an intuitive type, intuition. And if you're a sensing type, from sensing. Your energy and your interest can either come from the five senses, from the immediate attention, from paying attention overall, from simplicity, from the concrete, from the tangible, from the things you can hold, touch, smell, feel, or it comes from intuition, from complexity. An intuitive type needs an eternal state of increasing complexity, an eternal state of things that you have to reason about, deduce, figure out, speculate on, theorize on, philosophize on, investigate, research. An intuitive draws energy from the process of research, investigation, philosophy, theory, and from deduction, from logic, from research, analysis. And a sensor draws information from experience, from nature, from the environment, from the crowd, from the strong sensory input, from the smells, the visuals, the sun, the radiance, the sounds around you, the taste and the touch. We are all finding our energy from different sources. And what is so important is kind of finding out your way of drawing energy. Finding out how you can, if you've lost it, tap back into your energy again. And if you lost it, if you lost your motivation and what you find passionate and important, then also reconnecting with that. If there is something important in your life, someone you care about that you shut out, or something that you like, or something that you find inherently valuable, you need to find a way to tap into some of that motivation again. You need to find a way to you need to find something new that you find important. You need to find something in your life that you can fight for. Because we need to have that sense that we are doing something important in our life, and something that we find important. Not something that our boss finds important, not something that your friends find important, but something that you find important for your own sake. Something that makes you happy from gaining it, no matter what anybody else thinks. Any person who acts on their inner sense of motivation and their inner energy is going to be more happy, more energized, more motivated. And anyone who relies on the environment for this is going to be more dependent on the environment to maintain a sense of energy and motivation. If other people can't fill you with that energy, if other people can't give you that motivation and that spur, constantly telling you, oh, you're so good, and oh, that's amazing, and keep on doing that, well, that's when you're gonna be falling into the automaton traps. That's when you start slipping and losing touch with your natural dominant self, becoming something else. So once again, are ISTJs more likely to be automatons? No. The people that you've been looking at that can remind you of ISTJs are not ISTJs per definition. They might just be any other personality type who is in an automaton state. For example, INFJs who have lost touch with their intuition and feeling, those are the people that can appear the most like ISTJs. And ISTPs who have lost touch with their motivation and their interest, they are the ones that appear the most like INFPs. And of course, we have been tricked into kind of reading into the fact that, oh, in MBTI, the ENTJs are the evil types, that and the INFPs are the good types, and the ESTJs are the close-minded types, and so on. But really, that's only from our own perspective. That's something an intuitive would say. That's something a feeler would say about a thinker. That's something an intuitive would say about a sensor. It's not something that is objectively true. We can find ourselves as INFJs, for example, looking at ISTJs thinking that they are automatons or thinking that they are mindless drones. But then we are forgetting the fact that they have areas in their life that are of inherent value and inherent motivation to them. And in those areas, they are going to be more active, more motivated, and more conscious than an INFJ would. When it comes to matters that they find important, an INFJ will appear completely oblivious, careless, and apathic. Because we don't always care about everything. We don't actually care about certain decisions. There are things around us that we find completely tedious or pointless. But other types won't find that pointless. And there are things in our life that will appear to us as boring, or why do people even do it? What's the point? But to other types, that won't be the truth. And so, as you find yourself learning more about the personality types, what you will want to do is you will want to detach from that notion, that stereotype that some types are less active or less motivated or less free or less intelligent or less inspired or less energetic than other types. Energy is something that we all have, but it's only directed in different ways. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you a lot for watching and being part of this channel, and may your neurons be with you.